welcome back. This is Girlhood. So I posted that clip from my last podcast talking about the trip in the forest, and a lot of people were like, "How are you the mom of the group?" Sorry, don't look at my nails also, because I haven't gotten them done, and it's not even like I can't, like it's not because Josh isn't taking me to get them done. He offered to take me to get my nails done for my birthday yesterday. But my thing is like I just grew out my nail bed to the point where the damage from the acrylics has fully grown out and like my nails are actually strong again, but I really need to clip them and file them and paint them. I'm so done with gel and acrylic because it stays like it sticks on my nail for so long. It never comes off on its own. I always have to like peel it and pry it off, and then I end up peeling off 2 layers of my nail bed. Sorry, this is just like completely irrelevant side rant, but like if you're noticing my nails and you're like, ew, this bitch is so dirty, and like just like stop. Just know that it's a choice. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna start doing press-ons, which also, why are my nails so fucking okay? My hands are gonna stay down here for the entirety of this podcast. Thank you. Anyway, so I posted that clip and people were like, how are you the mom of the group if you took 7 grams of, And then I was just like, okay, what I said was I was mom of the group in terms of camping. Like it was all their first time camping. So I was the one that knew all the rules and the etiquette of a campsite. So I was like kind of guiding the group in that way. Like I'm not like mom of the group, like sober mom, like don't get it twisted. Okay. If I was sober mom of the group, I wouldn't have eaten any. So I wouldn't have packed myself a baggie. Just saying. Anyways, also, why does everything have red 40 in it? Because I was looking at the ingredients on electrolytes, like the Gatorade electrolyte, and red 40. It's literally in here. Like, I don't need it to be red. Well, it's pink. It's actually kind of cute. No, but I don't need it to be pink. Like, it's whatever color it just comes out as. Like, why do you have to add food coloring? So stupid. Anyways, yeah. Another thing that I forgot to mention about that trip when I like was fully tripping, there was a moment at the very beginning, and I thought about this after I was editing the podcast. Also, I'm gonna try not to say like a million times because I have a problem, and I'm trying to get clean from the word like. So there was a moment where I was fully experiencing ego death, and with that somehow came the fear and anxiety of the fact that I'm going to forget how to speak English if I don't continuously talk to myself. So I was literally walking around in circles, talking to myself, rambling a bunch of nonsense. Like, I am in Sequoia. I am walking around in circles. I'm wearing a purple bikini. Like, literally mumbling to myself, which probably like freaked all my friends out. I think we all freaked each other out at least at one point. But yeah, I was terrified that if I stopped talking, I was never going to know how to talk again. But that passed after like 5 minutes. Yeah. Also, speaking of, sorry. Oh my God, losing a sneeze is like getting blue balls. I hate that. Also, I never found the cockroach, so I'm praying it doesn't come back, but I'm pretending that never happened. But on the topic of mushrooms, when I was in high school, I had a boyfriend. And again, like I was not physically attracted to him when we first started talking. I was just kind of like doing it like just to like do something because he would like invite me on dates and stuff, and it sounded like a fun time. And then one way or another, we ended up dating. That's kind of how it always went my entire life. But anyways, so we ended up dating. He was like a good kid at first, okay? Like just a right. Oh my God, I just said like. I should have like. Fuck. Okay. I went to trade myself, and I was thinking, I had an idea where I almost just said it. Okay. I had an idea where I get a bottle of alcohol and then a shot glass. And every time I catch myself saying it, I take a shot and see how drunk I get by the end of this video. But I'm not going to do that because I realized I will die of alcohol poisoning. So back to my story. He started out as a really good kid. Went to school every day, great parents, great family. Parents were separated, but both of them were very well established and had really beautiful homes and whatever. So when I first started dating him, he kind of resembled a nerd. Okay. And I thought that was really cute. And that's also the reason why I dated Tanner Fox, which let me not say that name, but like, okay, ignore that. Let me not say that name, but I thought he was autistic, and I thought that that was cute and nerdy and kind of gave me a vibe of, oh my gosh, he's not going to lie to me. But, that isn't exactly how that went. Also, I don't really think he is autistic. I think he's just schizophrenic. Well, in my experience, he was just schizophrenic. But anyways, back to my high school boyfriend, because the story is really important. My mom is involved and she ended up Okay, so I'm dating this guy. And we started dating when I was like 16. And by this point, I think I was 17 going on 18. Or no, I was 18. I was definitely 18. And he was 20. And I decided, this was around Christmas time. It was a little bit before Christmas. So I decided I was going to have a little girls' day at my house. I was living at my grandma's house at the time. It's a very tiny house. My room was 9 feet by 9 feet or something like that. It was like, sorry, I'm just going to say like, I don't really give a fuck. It was really small. I tried. It was a tiny room and I had a queen bed. So my bed took up most of the room. My really innocent boyfriend, okay, ended up becoming a little bit of a delivery person, if you know what I mean, delivering his own product that he would buy in bulk. And this included vapes and pen carts and bud and shiitake mushrooms. So he started doing this, and it started off small. He started just with like a little box of cartridges for a weed pen, and he was just doing it out of his car. And then he would double his supply every time he made the money back. So one box turned into 2 boxes, turned into one of those really big boxes, turned into 2 of those really big boxes, turned into 3, 4, 5. And he had nowhere to put these boxes because his parents are really strict. And knowing my family, he knew that they didn't give a shit about anything, and they never checked in on me, and nobody went through my stuff other than my freaking journal. But my grandma's just really ditzy. She doesn't care, and my mom also really doesn't care because she's worse. So he asked me if he could keep these boxes in my room. And it started off just boxes on the floor, up against the wall, under my window. And it was about 5 or 6 boxes. Then there were so many boxes that I was taking up all the space in my room. So he bought a bookshelf, and the bookshelf stood in the corner of my room across from my bed. And it was fully stocked. It had doors on it. It was fully stocked with all of his supply. He had these giant mason jars, the big mason jars, giant ones, full of whatever it was that was in there. And one of these jars had mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms. He was a chef. No, I'm kidding. But so anyways, fast forward. There was never a problem, okay? There was no lock on the doors, but it was never a problem. It's not like I'm going to take anything because I could just ask and he would give it to me. So my friends all come over for this girls' Christmas party type sleepover thing. We were doing spiked hot chocolate with the peppermint Smirnoff and cute PJs and whatever. And I invited probably 6 people over. One of the girls I didn't know, and she was from Newport. I don't know if you know Newport, if you're not from Southern California, but basically it's this really wealthy beach town about 30 minutes from where I lived in Anaheim. And people there are just different. And that's the crazy thing about Orange County is you could live 20 minutes, even 10 minutes away from somebody, but somebody grew up in a really low income neighborhood and somebody lives in a mansion and you somehow end up at the same school. She didn't go to my school. One of my friends knew her from private school that they went to, whatever. So my friend brings this girl. She literally goes, "Oh, I thought we were going to like a Newport house. Like, this is really ghetto. Like, we should get out of here." Like, she was literally talking shit right in front of me that my house was ghetto. And I'm Like, girl, if you want to leave, the door is literally right there. So she ended up leaving. Her friend went with her. And then I had probably 4 people spend the night, and 2 of us were in my bed, 2 of us were on the floor. My room's tiny, whatever. These were my close friends at the time, so I really trusted them. Like, I didn't think anybody was going to steal anything from this special cabinet in my room. And I wake up the next morning, they leave, and my boyfriend comes over. I'm by myself in my room, and he would just come over to get stuff out of his cabinet and then go do deliveries for the day. And that was also really annoying because obviously, I don't know, it was just kind of annoying. But he comes over, opens his cabinet doors, and he goes, "Where's my jar of mushrooms?" And I was like, "I don't know, like, I didn't touch it. It should be in there." He goes, "It's not in here." And I was just like, "Well, is it in your car? Did you take it somewhere? Because we really didn't touch anything." And he's like, "No." And so my heart sinks because I get this feeling in my gut. Because I hear my mom's voice, actually. That's not why. I heard my mom talking to my grandma in the hallway. And as soon as I heard my mother's voice, I was like, "Oh, I'll be right back." And he had anger problems, by the way. So I said, "Whatever you do." And he had gotten into altercations with my mother before. So I was like, "Whatever you do not leave my room. You stay right here and do not come out. Please. Like, just let me go do something real quick." And so he stays put. And my mom is headed into the bathroom. And I stop the door right before she shuts it. And I just asked, and I was like, "Where is it?" And she looks at me and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Mom, where is it?" She's like, "Haley, oh my God, get out of the bathroom. I'm trying to pee." And I was like, "Mother, where is the jar? Because I know you took it." And I didn't know that she took it. I just had a feeling, but I was playing the like, "I know you did it, so just tell me." So it ended up working, surprisingly, because she is a really good liar. But for some reason, whenever I like give her the stare down, she folds every time. But anyways, so then she kind of freezes, stumbles upon her words. She's stuttering at this point, so I know for a fact she's lying. And I start getting really mad. It escalates more and more. And also, one of her pupils was bigger than the other. So that was a red flag. I don't know why that was the thing, because that's like a sign of, isn't that a sign of brain damage or a concussion? I don't really know. I never figured that out. They went back to normal. But so then she was like, "Okay, it's in my car." And I was like, "Okay, let's go down to the garage." So we go down to the garage. Her car is parked in the garage. So if her car basically is facing me, so when she opens her driver's side door, I can't see what's down here because I can only see her through the window of the car door. And she goes, "Okay, Haley, like, I'm going to give you this jar of mushroom. I'm going to give you this jar, but like, you just have to understand." Like, she starts spewing bullshit. And so I was like, "Mom, just show me the jar." Mind you, giant mason jar full to the brim when she got it the night before. Okay. And she shows me the jar. There is this much left. This much. Just little crumbs at the bottom. And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God." And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to go upstairs, give this to my anger issues boyfriend, and hope that he doesn't start cussing out my mother. And I'm just thinking all these things. And also, what the actual hell? Where did they all go? What do you even do with that many? What, do you still have them? Did you sell them? What's going on? So I'm just in pure shock. And I was like, "What did you do?" And she goes, "Okay, Kaylee, like, I had half of Santa Ana tripping balls last night," with a big ass grin on her face. And I was like, "You what?" This is the true fucking story. Like, I wish I was lying. I was like, "You what?" And she was like, "Dude, it was fucking awesome. I was with my buddy and we took some and then we just started handing them out to homeless people and whoever was on the street and like running into friends and da 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 da." Huh? So, first of all, how dumb can you be No offense, Mom, if you're watching this. We're cool now, but what the hell? Also, I kind of wish I was there to see that. Don't you? I mean, she needs a camera crew following her around at all times because what the hell? So I'm just like, oh my God. Okay. So I go upstairs and I have the jar behind my back and I go, I found your jar. He's like, show it to me right now. And I was like, okay, but before I do, I'm like doing the same thing that my mom did to me. I'm just now realizing. But I show him the jar. He's like, what the fuck? He's so mad. And I was just like, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Like I, and he's like, this is why I didn't want you having people over at your house. Da, da, da. First of all, you can't tell me that I can't have people at my house, at my own residence. Like, hello, you don't live here. This is like, maybe keep your supply somewhere else, buddy. Okay. I'm letting you literally sell out of my house for free. So I don't know. My mom, in her defense, she thought, he keeps his stuff here she literally said this. He keeps his stuff here for free. So she deserves a cut. And I guess that was her way of getting it. So it was just a lot of chaos going on. A lot of chaos. And he runs downstairs to where my mother is. And I stayed in my room because I didn't want to see that. And I didn't want to be a part of it. And I was scared. I'm pretty sure they were yelling at each other and cussing at each other. Don't know. Could be wrong. I was totally checked out. That's what I'm really good at, is completely checking out when things get really hectic. Because I just don't need the extra stress in my life. And I'd rather be in my own little world daydreaming. And speaking of daydreaming, this is so random, but this is something that I realized that was my problem. Okay. So I don't know if you're a daydreamer, but me personally, if I'm driving by myself listening to music, I'm daydreaming the whole car ride. Seriously. And it's fun. It feels good to daydream, And when you have a crush on somebody and you're listening to music and you're just daydreaming about scenarios with your crush the entire time, that's your problem. That is how you get way too obsessed with people that you don't even know yet. And then they turn out to be really awful people, but you build this idea of them in your head through your daydreams. So anyways, also, if you're in a relationship and you daydream about your partner all day long, because I do this too, and then you get so attached that if there's a breakup or if there's a problem or whatever, it feels like your heart is getting ripped out of your chest and you can't breathe or live ever again. And what I started doing, and this might help you too, I'm serious. I know I sound a little crazy and delusional, but this seriously helped me so much. When I'm listening to music, even if it's a love song, whatever, and I'm daydreaming, where I would normally be daydreaming about my partner, instead I daydream about myself. And I daydream about my future, not in the sense of getting married and having a happy, perfect, like romantic ending, but daydreaming about me, my success, my future, the love I have for myself, daydreaming about my childhood self, how much I love her, just putting all the daydream energy back into me. And I'll catch myself sometimes daydreaming about my partner and like, no. And then when I start daydreaming about myself, it actually makes me feel so good. And it just heightens all the self-love, because a lot of people say, oh, self-love, you need to journal, you need to do affirmations, you need to do self-care, all this stuff. That personally doesn't work on me. Like, tell me to read a affirmation once a day or whatever. I'll read it. It's not going to stick, because you know what sticks? The feelings I get during my daydreams. I'm serious. Those feelings are real. I could be daydreaming and get real butterflies in my stomach. I don't know if I'm the only one that has really vivid daydreams, but if you're like this, it might be an ADHD thing. It might be a BPD thing. I don't know. I've never been diagnosed with BPD, but a lot of people have been diagnosing me on TikTok. So I will take it as a possibility. But if you daydream, you need to start being intentional about what you daydream about, because whatever you daydream about is going to become the reality in your mind. It's so real and it's so important. So yeah, just a little sidebar. be intentional with your daydreams. It's seriously scary how real they become. So yeah. And anyways, so yeah, back to him. She never paid him back. My mom, obviously, she doesn't have money, but never paid him back. Never really cared, and he ended up getting over it. I think he ended up getting a lock on the cabinet, but we broke up shortly after that, anyways. But I just thought that was so hilarious because, and I just wish she would vlog. Like, I want to give her a vlog camera and be like, can you just record everything that you do, please? Because the way she would go so viral, like, she does the craziest shit. This one time, and this was the year before that, actually, I was a senior in high school, and I've been known that my mom gets into the craziest situations, and it can get really sketchy. It can be really funny. It can be lighthearted. It can be devastating. Like the time that she totaled my Aunt Linda's car going 70 miles an hour cruise control on the freeway and fell asleep at the wheel, got out completely unscathed, not a scratch, not a bruise. How does she do it? She is going to be the one person that survives a nuclear war. So anyways, what was I just saying? My mom. Oh yeah, wait. Okay. So I'm a senior in high school and I was home alone. Mind you, for context, my little sister had come up to me a week maybe before this, maybe 2 weeks before this, and she was 6 at the time, I want to say. She was like in kindergarten. So my little sister comes up to me and she was like, can I tell you a secret? And I'm like, of course. I love secrets. And she's like, okay, but you can't tell mommy because I'll seriously get in a lot of trouble. And I'm like, no, I would never. Like, my lips are sealed, girl. You can tell me anything. I want you to trust me with everything because I want to be that one person in her life that she can tell anything to, especially when she's a teenager, because I really worry about that. Anyways, so I've trained her since she was little. She could tell me anything and I will never snitch. So she tells me, okay, so I was with mommy last night and we went in her car and then she pulled up to this really big house and then there was 2 big guys in front of the house and they had guns and then me and mommy, we went up to the door and then she was talking to them and then we went inside and everybody was playing games like with cards and there was like lots of lights and and people were smoking cigarettes inside the house and people had the big cigarettes, the brown ones, and she's just rambling. And I'm sitting there and then what? Right. No, I'm like, right. And then, oh, okay. Yeah, tell me more about that. Okay, and what do these big scary men look like? Good job. Thank you so much for telling me, baby. Like 911. Hello, hi. No, but I'm like piecing this all together in my head. And my first thought is illegal underground gambling house. Duh. So I kind of tell my grandma a little bit, like, Mallory said that, no. And she goes, oh, yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe she took Mallory there. But she started working at this underground gambling house, and I guess they've been paying her to deal the cards or something. I don't know. So I'm, okay, whatever. Weird that she took a 6-year-old there, but whatever. So a couple weeks go by. I kind of forget about it. I'm home alone. I get this bang at the front door. Boom, boom, boom. Like a serious ass knock. Not knock, knock, knock. No. Boom, boom, boom. Totally a police knock. I open the door. It's these 2 men with those aviator police officer ass sunglasses, but they're wearing leather jackets and I want to say jeans, or I don't remember what kind of pants they were wearing, but they gave undercover cop so bad. Like, not even, they were not slick about it at all. Their hair was super nice, like slick back, like looks like just got it. Like he just got back from the barber. Like they were way too clean, but dressed kind of gangster if a cop was like, how can I dress like a bad guy? That's exactly how they were dressed. So I kind of had a weird suspicion. Also, the knock, very much a police officer knock. And they go, is Natasha here? And they're kind of looking, trying to look behind me because I'm just standing in the doorway. And I was like, no, she's not. Because genuinely, she would leave for days. We didn't know where she was. I wish I knew where she was because I'm actually in charge of her child right now. And I have plans at 6:30. So if you could find her, that'd be great. Thank you. No, but like, when's the last time she was here? And I was like, I don't know, maybe yesterday or the day before. I don't keep track. Do you know where she is? I wish I did. I wish I could tell you, genuinely. Do you know when she'll be back? And I bust out a little laugh. I was like, no, none of us do, actually. Genuinely. Sorry. So, and I was like, what is this about? And he just goes, why don't you just tell her that so-and-so, I forget their names. They gave me their names. So-and-so and so-and-so dropped by. And I go, okay, I'll let her know. And so they're still kind of looking behind me, trying to see if, I don't know, she's freaking don't know. So they leave. I tell my grandma, these really sketchy cop looking guys came to the door, banged on the door really loud, and they were asking for my mom. Do you know anything about that? And my grandma goes, oh God. And I was like, what? And she's like, I can't, I'm not supposed to say anything. Okay, well now you have to tell me because you can't leave me on a cliffhanger like that, Grandma. You need to spill immediately. And so my grandma I finally get it out of her after a little convincing. And she confesses to me that my mother was, working for this illegal gambling house. And then I don't know if somebody got caught doing something. Basically, police got involved. Mom got arrested. Mom made a deal with the police that she would be basically a rat that worked. She was going to continue working there just to get more intel and more information for them. And I don't know, wear a wire. She agreed to all this stuff. And then she ghosted the police officers once they let her go. And I was thinking, okay, so what the hell? Is she going to get arrested and go to jail now because she didn't follow through with the promise that she made to that? Like, what does that even mean? I don't know, because I've never made a deal with the cops like that. I don't know how it works, but that's also hilarious of her because she's never been a very reliable person when it comes to making plans for the future. She's reliable. Like, if I need you right now, like I'm in trouble now, she'll be like, okay, I'm going to figure out a way to get there. But if I tell her you need to be here on this time at this day, don't count on it. So I just thought it was hilarious because, oh my God, she would. Like, that's so on brand. And also hilarious because she kind of played them and it's kind of iconic. So anyways, I'm a little bit worried because I'm thinking, okay, does that mean that she has a warrant? Does that mean that they're looking for her? What's going to come of this, Anybody would be worried. It's like also your house that you also live at. And now these people are looking for her. I'm just, okay, whatever. I forget about it after I tell all my friends because I thought it was hilarious. And then a year later, it popped up in my head again. And I was in the car with my mom. And I go, Mom, whatever happened to those undercover cops that were looking for you, that you made a deal with, that you ended up ghosting and not following through on? Did they ever, do you have a warrant out? Like, what's going on with that? How are you not in trouble? And she goes, oh my God, those stupid idiots. Like, they probably just forgot. Like, they're not going to do anything. Okay, why are you so sure of that? I just don't understand. I guess she just knows the system more than I do, but apparently there's nothing they can do because I don't know. I don't know how it works, but she got off scot-free. It's inspiring, truly. No, I'm kidding. But what the actual hell? seriously, she needs a reality show. Bad. So bad. I would even watch it. I want to know what goes on when she's not home. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could see what she was doing behind the scenes. Because how the hell do you get yourself into these situations and then get away with everything with absolutely zero consequence? None. Nada. Went snowboarding with her 2 years ago. This is going to be an entire episode about my mom lore. Go snowboarding with her and my uncle Aaron, which is her younger brother. He was in the Navy for 4 years. He is pretty well-rounded, has a little bit of a drinking problem, but whatever. But he is employed and he doesn't steal and he, follows the law. So he's a law-abiding citizen. And we are driving up to go snowboarding and my mom says we need to stop at REI. If you don't know what REI is, it's this really expensive outdoor store and they have gear for every kind of sport / outdoor activity / camping / anything. So, but it's really expensive. We go to REI. She says she needs a new snowboarding jacket and me and my uncle are looking at each other thinking she's going to ask one of us for money. We just know it because that's what she usually does. And it would probably be him over me first because obviously he's older and more established than I am. But we go into REI. We walk out. Me and my uncle walk out first. We get in the car. My mom's still in there. And then she comes out last. And she's wearing this nice ass snowboarding jacket with the fur hood. It's white with a little bit of navy blue. And we're like, how much did that cost? And she was like, free 99. What? She was like, I just walked out with it. We're like, what the how much is it? We look at the tag, $850. Thank you. $850. Oh my God. And you just walked out. Cool. Got it. Was there not a magnet tag on it? Did you bring a really strong magnet to take the tag off? What is going on? How did you do that? And no, it's not like anyone was chasing her out of the store. She just walked right out, calm, cool, and collected. So impressive, but also what the hell? Why didn't you get me one? No, I'm just kidding. But I use that jacket to this day. When I go snowboarding without her, I use that jacket. It is such a good quality jacket. I'm honestly glad that she did that. And, REI will survive. I'm sure they will survive. They are probably a billion-dollar corporation, probably multi, honestly. There's so many and they're so expensive. But yeah, that's my mother. The thing is, she's a really good person and she has a good heart, okay? She just lives life a little differently than you and I, and that's okay. Some people think that is the worst thing in the world and they would never have a relationship with someone like that. But I honestly think it's just her using her survival skills and she's just really good at surviving. And also, she was raised with a grandma who's my great-grandma. My great-grandma would always say, oh, please. Oh, she would, how would she go? Oh, please. If you want to steal from Target, just go ahead and do it. They make millions of dollars and they'll be fine. She had this rule, never steal from a mom and pop shop or a small business. But if it's a Walmart, a Target, a big-time grocery store, any type of big corporation store that makes millions, you know what? It's fine. She would say, well, I'm poor, so they should give me this free lipstick. So thank you. I deserve this. So I think that's where my mom kind of adopted these behaviors. Also, my great grandma would let my mom take the car when she was 13, no permit, no license. And she would let her go off and take the car, do whatever she wanted. And she would go picking up her friends. 13 is like 8th grade, by the way. Go pick up her friends, drive around, I don't know, go to parties, whatever. And she would always come back completely fine. She never got pulled over. She followed the laws of the road and she's fine. Obviously, you shouldn't do that, but that's what happened. And nothing bad came of it. Thank God. I seriously feel like my mom has the most guardian angels working overtime around the clock, 24/7, just making sure that everything's okay all the time because she always lands on her feet no matter what. Literally no matter what. If the apocalypse happened tomorrow, I'm following her and she's going to get us out of that situation. And I just trust her. Like I literally trust her with my life, even though she makes questionable decisions that a normal person would think is not okay in any circumstance. But it's like she knows what she's doing and she knows the limits and the boundaries and she just walks on that fine line. And it's kind of beautiful and it's kind of like art. So yeah, I love my mom. She's really cool. My dad isn't that cool. And he wishes he was, I bet. He was that cool when he dated my mom. I kind of want to get her on here so that she could tell the stories of the things that they would do before they had me while they were teenagers. And it's pretty crazy. Like, I'll just tell you one of them that I know by memory. So my mom just got this new job working. She was picking up cash from schools and delivering it to banks. Basically, that was her job. I don't know how you get that job, but it is a real job. Going to schools, collecting all the cash, and then depositing it in the bank. And it would usually be $10,000, $5,000. It was always at least a few grand or more. And she actually took this job really seriously and she didn't want to mess this up. Okay, so she's doing her job and she also wasn't allowed to have anyone in the car with her while she was doing this job. But of course, she's like, oh, it's fine if I pick up my boyfriend, which was my dad at the time. And she picks up my dad and she has multiple envelopes of cash, but they're completely sealed. And if the seal is broken, you can't, I don't know the rules. I'll have to ask her again, but if the seal's broken, you're basically fucked. So she has multiple envelopes and she's going into another school to grab their envelope. And my dad's sitting in the car by himself and she says, do not touch these envelopes. I swear. I won't. Oh my God. So she goes into the school. She takes a few minutes. Meanwhile, my dad opens an envelope, surprise, surprise, and goes next door to get Jack in the Box. What? It's only $5. And she's like, oh my God, stupid. Are you an idiot? Why would you do that? Now I can't give it to the bit or whatever. I don't know if it was a bank or where they would deposit it, but I'm pretty sure it was a bank. But basically, it couldn't be unsealed because then they know it's tampered with and then you get in big trouble and I don't know. So then they decide, okay, well, he's like, what if your car got broken into? It's not your fault. I mean, you're by yourself and you're leaving these envelopes in your car and walking into other schools and like, what if your car got broken into? And she goes, it's kind of a good idea. So they decide to smash her window out and make it look like her car got broken into. And then since her car got broken into, of course, the people would take all the envelopes. So they took all the envelopes, kept the money to themselves. And you want to know what they did with the money? The thousands and thousands of dollars. They just blew it on the dumbest shit you could possibly think of. They went to, oh my God, what was it called? Wild Rivers. They closed down, but my dad used to take me there too. They went to Wild Rivers. They were going shopping. They were taking they just didn't save any of it. Didn't do anything like smart with it. Didn't invest any of it. Didn't, I'm pretty sure they used some of it to fix her window, but what the hell? Literally Bonnie and Clyde. Like, I wish there was a movie made about my mom from her childhood to now, maybe just a full series, like as long as the show Shameless. that many episodes. That's what I need, because she seriously has the craziest, honestly, the craziest life out of anyone I've ever met. And I think it's really cool. And I want her to write a book or something, but I don't think she ever will. But yeah, they have some really funny stories. This one time, my mom and dad were completely dirt broke, $0, okay, and super hungry. But they had no money. And I don't know where they were living, but I think maybe they were couch surfing. I don't know. But my dad's like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. I wish I just had, oh, what do you say? They're walking past a grocery store and there was a vending machine next to the grocery store. And he goes, God damn it, I wish I just had enough money to buy food. And he kicks the vending machine and it literally just creaks open slowly, as if the heavens were just, ah. And they look at each other and they're like, no effing way. They open the vending machine, get all the snacks they want. I don't know if they got I think she said the cash box was locked and they couldn't get the cash, but they got a bunch of snacks. And just things like that where like who does this happen to other than my mother? How? I just don't. She must be gifted in a witchy way. I don't know. It's kind of weird because this kind of stuff doesn't happen to normal people. This stuff doesn't happen to me. I wish I could kick a vending machine when I was down bad and it would just magically open. You know what I mean? And I know these stories are real because I would fact check them with my dad without telling him what she's told me. I'd be like, so did anything happen with a vending machine when you were really broke and you were with my mom? And then he would tell me the same exact story. And I'm like, damn, she wasn't making it up. So really crazy, really, really crazy, but still really kind of cute. And I can see why they were together at the beginning, but also it ended up getting really toxic because obviously drugs were involved. And when addiction comes into play, relationships never work out. Also the fact that she does not want me to say this, but she was using while she was pregnant with me. And in her defense, she had an appointment to get an abortion. And everyone in the family was like, you're getting an abortion. You don't you need to get an abortion. You are 18 years old. You have no money. You have no job. You dropped out of high school. You've already been in juvenile hall. You know, you can't have a baby because you cannot take care of it. And so they scheduled her an appointment at Planned Parenthood, and she's still using and thinking it's fine because I'm not going to, have this baby. So whatever. And she goes to the abortion clinic and she checks in, everything, sits on the chair, and last minute decides she can't do this. And she chickens out and leaves and then goes ghost for a few days. And my dad's just like, oh my God, where are you? What's going on? Did you get the procedure? And then she ended up coming back and being like, I couldn't do it. I can't do it, this and that. And then, she kept procrastinating. It was too late. And then she decided that she wanted to have the baby. And also her and my dad always said since the day that they met each other, we would have the cutest babies, blah, blah, blah. Like how you talk with your situationship that you should absolutely not be with. Literally that, but they actually had a baby and it's me. But so she chickened out, and then he's thinking, you were using drugs this whole time, so I'm scared because apparently my dad knocked up this other girl a year and a half before this happened, and the baby was stillborn. Stillborn is when, it's deceased, but it comes to full term, you give birth, and then it doesn't survive. So, and that was really traumatizing for him because he literally watched it all happen, and I can't imagine what that's like. But it really, to this day, it sticks with him. And to this day, he still visits the gravesite. He even took me there one time. The baby boy's name was Mikey. I would have had an older brother, but I probably also wouldn't have been born if that kid was born. But anyways, so he's freaking out because he doesn't want to experience that again. So he's really on her ass. You need to stop now. No more drugs. no more cigarettes, nothing, no alcohol, nothing. You need to be eating healthy food. You need to stay away from anything that can harm the baby. And she's agreeing with him. Of course. No, we're on the same page. Yeah, yeah. And then he would catch her with it in her purse and be like, what the fuck are you using again? Like, and he would get really angry and really toxic. And then she would deny, but then he would take it from her, and then he would find more in her purse the next week and be like, what the hell? And she would always have an excuse and whatever. So I don't know what the truth is. He says that she was using. She says, no, I wasn't. So, but there's 3 sides to every story. Anyways, yeah. So when it was time for me to be born and they're in the delivery room, my dad was so scared that it was going to be a stillborn. So he left her by herself, and she gave birth without him there. And then he came back a day later or 2 days later because he was scared and he didn't want, I don't know. I think he went on a bender. I don't really know. But then he met me, and I was a healthy 9-pound baby. And yeah, so happily ever after. No kidding. But then they still had an apartment together until I was like 1 or 2. And that's when I was 3 when they got arrested. So they had an apartment for a few years, both together, like raising me. And he found out that she was using while breastfeeding, and he freaked out on her, and he was so upset. And I don't know. So I obviously turned out fine for the most part, and I'm pretty smart. I have a high IQ. They did test my IQ when I went to get tested for ADHD. They made me do like the IQ test with like the blocks, and I don't know. And they said I have a high IQ. I do have severe ADHD, and I also had really bad asthma as a kid, but I feel like both of those things are so common. It's like nothing out of the blue. It could have been a lot worse. I could be deformed or have, I don't know, a lot of things. A lot of things could have gone wrong, but by the grace of God and her guardian angels that work overtime, I turned out to be healthy and no complications, nothing. So that's awesome. And yeah, then obviously they got arrested when I was like 3, and then they went to jail, and then I went in the foster care system, and then my grandma ended up adopting me after a couple weeks of being in foster care. And then my childhood I always think my childhood's great, but then when I start to tell stories that happened in my childhood, people are like, oh. But for me, I had so much fun. I was climbing trees. I was playing outside. I was riding my bike, like playing with my Barbies. I don't think about my childhood and have traumatic thoughts or depression or sadness. I think about my childhood and I'm like, damn, it was so magical. I honestly felt like I had magic as a child. I know that's crazy. I know I sound delusional again, but there's something so magical about being a little kid. I don't know how to describe it. If you know the feeling, you know the feeling. And if you don't, you'll think I sound insane. But I just remember feeling so, I don't know, every ice cream flavor is like a new thing. And I don't know, it's such a magical time, and everything's so new and exciting. And that's how I remember my childhood. And maybe my brain blocked out the trauma, but I still remember everything. There's nothing that I don't remember. So maybe my brain, I think that's why I daydream so vividly. My brain definitely had me daydreaming a lot as a child. And then when I was in elementary school, I figured out I could literally watch episodes of SpongeBob in my head while staring at the teacher. And I thought that I had just unlocked a superpower. And I told all my friends, I'm like, I watch TV in class. They're like, girl, what? Yeah. I was literally watching SpongeBob while we were in class. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah. I watched the whole episode in my head. And I would literally play the full episode front to back, like remembering every single That's kind of impressive. I don't know a lot of people that can do that. So I don't know. I think that actually says something more about my intelligence level as a child. But yeah. And then the daydreaming never stopped. And now the daydreaming is a problem. Well, it was also a problem then because I obviously wasn't paying attention to the teacher. But The daydreaming has always been a problem. I've even gotten myself in, it's also a problem for my grandma. Maybe it runs in my family. My grandma totaled her car because she was daydreaming. Mind you, she doesn't drink. She's never done drugs in her life. She's never even smoked a cigarette in her life. That's real. And she was daydreaming about living on a strawberry farm and being like a farmer's daughter. I don't know. She was daydreaming while driving and she veered off the road, totaled her car. And when the cops showed up, obviously they ask, "Ma'am, are you intoxicated?" And she goes, "No, I'm not intoxicated. I don't drink, but I was just daydreaming about living on a strawberry farm. And, I was just thinking about the outfits I would wear." And they go, "Ma'am, are you under the influence of any drugs or are you taking any medication, any pills?" "Oh, no, I'm not." They literally took her in for a drug test because they were convinced that she was on something. But my daydreams be like that sometimes. I do get myself into situations where I'm daydreaming in traffic and then I realize, oh my God, the car in front of me is completely stopped and I almost rear-ended them. So I definitely need to get it under control. When I was taking ADHD medication, I couldn't daydream and it actually made me depressed because my daydreams give me life. I love it so much. I would rather daydream than be in real life. But that is definitely a trauma response if I ever seen one. But it's a good one at least, It's a fun one and it's so entertaining and I could make up any scenario in my head in grave detail and vividly picture it and direct every character to do exactly what I want in whatever setting I could possibly imagine. I could be in outer space right now. But yeah, so love daydreaming, but I'm learning to be intentional with my daydreams, like I said earlier, because the more intentional you are with what you daydream, the more in control you are of your mind and your emotions and just everything, relationships, your life. The more in control you are of your life, because if you can control your thoughts, you can really control your actions, you can control your emotions, and then it's a lot harder for people to get to you. So that's a superpower that I am learning how to master because I've always been so affected by what other people do to me in a way, like in relationships at least. I would really let things get to me and be like, it's your fault that I feel this way and it's your job to fix it because you did this. And that's genuinely how I felt. Like I thought that was so right and that there was no way I was wrong. And then as I got older, I realized people are going to do whatever they're going to do. But just because somebody makes you feel horrible doesn't mean that it's their job to make you feel better. Obviously, if they're a good person, they will try to make you feel better, but you shouldn't leave it up to them to make you feel better. You should know how to make yourself feel better. Because if they don't care and they don't try to make you feel better, then you're just going to feel like shit for a lot longer than you should. So it's always good to be able to regulate your own emotions and be responsible for your own emotions and responsible for your own actions, because I don't know, I feel like in my teenage relationships, I would genuinely I would get so depressed if they weren't soothing my feelings that they hurt, even if they hurt them on accident, but they should have known better or whatever. I wouldn't be okay until they made it okay. And I spent all this time being so depressed and so sad when in reality, it was never their job to make me feel better. It's my job to not let it. I mean, you can feel sad, but you should know how to make yourself feel better. And if you don't know how to make yourself feel better, then you should probably figure it out because your life changes. Once you learn how to make yourself feel better, it's like you gain control of your life and you gain control of your reactions and you feel a little untouchable in a way. And then, I don't know. it's good to be in control of yourself and your actions, obviously, but yeah, definitely something to think about. Yeah, my birthday was yesterday. I'm recording this on a Sunday. It's going to be posted on Tuesday, but my birthday was yesterday. No, my landlord did not come. I'll read you the text because it's actually pretty funny. And this is real, by the way. I'll literally show you. I'll never tell you a fake story. I promise. You can trust me. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. I said, hi, if you're up in LA, dinner is at, and then I gave him the restaurant because he told me to text him the details, and I was like, shit, I'm a bad person if I don't text him the details because I said I would. So this is me texting the details. It's in Silver Lake at 7:30. Love to have you and your girlfriend come. And this was at noon. Okay. He said, thanks. We started rolling already. Happy birthday. Have fun. And I was like, you too. And then he sent me a thumbs up emoji. So him and his girlfriend were rolling on Molly at noon on a Saturday. Good for him. I am a little worried just because he looks at least 70. His hair is completely white. He looks like a Pixar grandpa. He's still like super energetic and stuff and really good at art, but I worry about him doing Molly because this isn't the first time that he's done Molly this month. And he does it a lot, actually. He'll, like I said on TikTok, he'll take Molly and lay under her piano while she plays the piano for him. Also, I don't know what she looks like. I don't know how old she is, but I was kind of excited to meet her if they did show up to my birthday dinner because I have a weird feeling she's like a lot younger than him, but she's probably still late 30s, early 40s. But that's still at least a 25-year difference. I don't know. Good for him. But I do worry about his heart and his organs. Genuinely. I don't know how he does it. Seriously. Because you probably already, this is common sense, but when you're old, your body aches. And you have to really take care of yourself to feel even just normal. Take it from me. I was raised by old people. Like, it's a real thing. You really got to take care of your body because your quality of life, because right now we can do whatever we want and it doesn't really affect us, you know, even just slouching. I slouch a lot, or at least I did when I was a kid, but I just started slouching again recently. But my Von, which is my dad's mom, she would always tell me, straighten your back. You're going to be a hunchback. And she's also such a Barbie mom. She blonde hair, huge tits, small waist. She would teach aerobics classes and fitness classes. And she was an assistant to a plastic surgeon. So she's always pinning and Botoxing and filling. But she doesn't look overdone. She only does like a tiny little bit of filler. And she looks amazing, honestly. But since I was a child, if I would make facial expressions with my eyebrows, she would literally be like, you're going to get wrinkles. Do you want to look like an old wrinkly lady? Do you want to be an old wrinkly ugly lady with a bunch of lines and wrinkles all over your face? Don't do that. And she would get so serious. Okay. And it trained me. I noticed it as an adult. I don't really crinkle my skin on my forehead. I never, when I do like this face, I never do it hard enough to wrinkle the skin subconsciously. This is like built into me since I was a child. And when I make a surprised expression, I usually, but notice how my forehead isn't wrinkled. I mean, obviously I can if I really wanted to, but it feels unnatural. The natural response for me is this and this. And I think I honestly give credit to her. I feel like she trained me to have natural Botox. And I know that sounds crazy, but I am thankful because I haven't had a line on my forehead yet. Knock on wood. Aging kind of scares me, but it also is a beautiful thing. But, you know, you want to prolong your youth for as long as possible, obviously. So yeah, love her. Every year for my birthday. Oh, let me tell you what I got for my birthday. Okay, so you know how my mom shoplifts, and she doesn't have a job. So every year for my birthday, my mom will somehow come up with a really random, expensive gift for me that leaves me wondering, how the hell did you get this? Anyways, this year she got me 3 gold necklaces. One of them has a big emerald on it, and she said that they're real, so I can not take them off, wear them in the water, whatever. And they feel real, and they it feels like good quality. I have one real gold necklace, and it feels exactly like that. I don't know, like, how did you, where is this, like, is this stolen? But if it is, maybe it's best I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going to ask. I don't want to know, but I do have my suspicions. Anyways, that's what my mom got me, 3 necklaces. And my grandma got me my grandma, I love her to death. She, for my birthday, got me a bag of groceries from Trader Joe's. And I'll tell you what the groceries are. A loaf of sourdough bread. I'm dead ass, by the way. A loaf of sourdough bread. 2 boxes of the white cheddar shell mac and cheese. Blueberry muffins. A little thing of the 4. Blueberry muffins. Those little biscuit things that you dip into your tea. Those little biscuit sticks. Those. And a bag of the olive oil popcorn. In like a Trader Joe's reusable bag. That was my birthday present. And my dad got me nothing. And my Uncle Carl Venmo'd me $200. My Von Venmo'd me $50. Every single year she Venmos me $50. I thought as I got older, maybe she would like up it to $100. No, $50. $50 every year. Which, thank you. I love it. I'm not complaining at all, but it's so funny. It never changes. Not once. It's always $50. And it was happy birthday, Venmo, $50. So, yeah, that's what I got for my birthday. And from my family, at least. My friends got me really cute gifts, and so did my boyfriend. But I just think it's so fun, like a bag of groceries. Thank you. Honestly, I needed that. Like, she kind of ate. Well, I'm going to eat, literally. But I've never even thought to, like, gift groceries. But in this economy, it actually makes sense. Maybe we should start gifting groceries. Gas cards. Like, the bare basics. Just life essentials. We're struggling out here. So, yeah. Anyways. Happy birthday to me. I'm 22 now, and I can't believe it. I literally want to cry. I feel the same, but I don't know. We'll see if my brain develops more this year. I'll let you know. Keep you guys posted. So far, it feels the same. But the number 22 is kind of cute. I like it. 2-2. Very symmetrical. I love even numbers. 21 was so fun, though, because anytime I tell someone I'm 21, I would get, oh my God, you're a baby. And I'd be like, I know. No, but I love that. I love being the youngest of a group because I'm the oldest of all my cousins. And I'm the oldest sister. But it's nice to feel really young around older people. Because then you can kind of turn off your brain and you can make mistakes and look stupid. And it's like, oh, she's 21. She doesn't know better. And it's true. You don't know better. But you better frickin' learn better because time is going by really fast. And if you don't learn, you're going to look like an idiot at the age of 25. Like, you need to know. You need to make mistakes, but make them fast. That's what my Aunt Chantel always told me. Fail, but fail quick. Fail fast. Because now's the time where you can make all the mistakes, all the failures, but you need to learn the lesson from each time you fuck up because that's what's important. If you're making these mistakes at 25 plus, it's ghetto. It's trashy. You need to, 25 is still young. I'm going to say 30. If you're making these mistakes by 30, it's like, oh my God, what is she doing with her life? if you're doing it at 21, it's like, oh, she's learning. She's so young. She has her whole life ahead of her. I remember when I was that age. She's a baby. So fail fast. Don't be afraid to fail, by the way, because it's good for you. It's really good to learn lessons, and it's good to learn them the hard way, like how my car got broken into. Oh, you want to know why my car got broken into? And it was the only car on the entire block that got broken into. The whole street was filled with cars. Just mine on that street. They hit the other streets next to that street and got like 12 other cars. But do you want to know why they chose mine? Because I had things all over the inside of my car. Remember, I gave you a car tour and I was like, oh, having a messy car makes me trust you. Like, oh my gosh, I totally relate. Like, how do people keep their car clean? What are you, a psychopath? No, you're just really smart and you're not going to get robbed, because when they look through the windows, they're trying to scout, like, does this bitch have things all over her car that looks like she has valuable items, or just items in general? Like, it's because I had so much shit in my car that they looked in those windows and they were like, oh, this is the one. Jackpot. And guess what? They found $600 in my center console. I know that's so stupid to keep cash in your car, but Josh had just given me cash towards my rent money. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to stash it here and I'm going to deposit it in the bank. And then I kept procrastinating that. And boom, it's gone. And the most fucked up part about that is that, so I'm trying to be really frugal with money right now because money is really tight right now. And I'm sure we can all relate to that. Even Josh, like, money's tight right now. He's still very generous, but like, it's not a lot to go around. So I put $20 in my tank when it was empty because I'm thinking I'm going to try to save money, and I'm being really frugal with my money. So I'm only going to put $20 in for now. And if I find a gas station that has really low prices, I'll put more in. But for right now, I'm just going to do 20. And then my money got robbed. And I'm thinking, now my gas is empty and I could have just put the whole 100. Oh, that is what really got me. I could have just put the whole 100 and had a full tank of gas before they robbed me, at least. But it was empty because I was trying to be good with my money. Whatever. My friend Kendall, I'm going to cry. She felt really bad that I got robbed, and because she was with me, and her mom discussed with each other, and they decided to send me the $600 that I lost, because it was literally like towards my rent, and like that's all I have for the month is just my rent money and a little bit of extra spending money for food and gas, but that's it. Okay. Like I said, money's really, 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 really tight right now. And I was like, do not send me that. And she was like, no, I already talked to my mom. Like, it's totally fine. I want you to take it. Like, I can't imagine the anxiety of like needing to come up with $600 and like, you know, and I was just like, you really, like, I'm telling you, do not have to. It's not your problem. It's not your fault. Like, and she insisted, and I literally cried my eyes out because I feel like I'm just starting to have friends that are actually real, so real, and so real. Like, I've had such fake hating ass friends, like, so many times that would never. And she, you know what she told me? She was like, if it was anyone else, I wouldn't do this, but I know that you'll get me back if I'm ever in a tough spot. And it's true. Like, I absolutely would. I freaking love her. And I'm, it made me so emotional because, like, I just love good friends especially when you haven't had it in a really long time, and then thinking that you're never going to find it again. And then you do. It's such a beautiful thing. And shout out to Kendall. Like, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And if I ever get rich one day, you're coming with me. Like, seriously, I will pay you back times 10. But, yeah, so currently window is busted out. I ordered one in the mail. It was like $60 and it's not coming until Monday, but I'm going to be in Sequoia. That's tomorrow, actually. So yeah, I've been driving around with no window, which is really humiliating because when I drive, I like to belt the songs at the top of my lungs. I like to sing loud and really bad. Even if I'm so off key, like if I'm by myself, it's like I need to. I love doing that. And it's so embarrassing because I can't roll my window up. And I was like pulling up to a stoplight and I was singing so loud to Paramore, You Are the Only Exception. And then I realized people were crossing the street staring and I was like, oh, fuck. I totally forgot people could hear me. That's really embarrassing. Also, my hair gets really tangled. Whatever. It's going to get fixed. Josh is fixing it for me. So thank you to him. What would I do without him, literally? But yeah, everything will be sorted out and shit happens. Now I know to keep a clean car. That was literally the lesson in life I needed to ever keep a clean car. I was never going to keep a clean car. So keep your cars clean. I take back everything I said about cute, messy cars. Hide everything in your trunk or you will get robbed, especially if you're in LA, because it's really there. It's really bad. No, but seriously, for your own sake, clean your fucking car. Anyways, I'm going to end this episode here and I love you so much. Also, I can't believe I reached 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. And I love this little community that we're building. I think it's so sweet. I love all the messages that you send me. I read all of them, all the stories you send me. I wish I could just do a 3-hour long episode reading every single story. It would probably take longer than that, but I want you to know that I see you. And I wish I had time to like go through every single one of them and respond and do a little reaction video. I will eventually get to them because I'm going to keep doing those segments, but some of your stories are really crazy and fucked up and I want you to know that you're not alone. And I feel like a lot of influencers, I hate the word influencer, but a lot of influencers on social media try to show you how to have the most perfect life and eat so healthy and be so balanced and whatever. But it's just, to me, it's not realistic. Like, I'm never going to be perfect. I'm never going to have a healthy diet. I'm never going to break all my habits and do 75 hard. Like, shut up. So this is a safe space to just be comfortable, be whoever you are. Just, it's okay. Like, come, you are accepted here. I literally accept everyone. Even if you did the most fucked up thing to an ex or whatever, like, it's okay. Me too. I've been there. I'm sure we all have. We're just too embarrassed to admit it, but it's okay. And you are not alone. Like, we've all been batshit. And if you haven't, you should try sometime. Just do it once. Like, it feels good. Even though afterwards you feel really embarrassed, but like, it feels good in the moment. And it tells a good story. So let loose a little. It's okay to not be perfect. And it's okay to be messy, and it's okay to just be. Don't even think. No, that's really bad advice. Actually, don't listen to me. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go now. I love you so much. Thank you for 5,000 subscribers. That's crazy. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.